I'm Ashley Anderson, and I'm a mobile horse trainer and people trainer that travels all over the state of Texas and surrounding states. Horses are amazing and beautiful creatures, but there are times when things can get pretty ugly. That's where I come in. I help problem horses become your dream horse. Horses usually aren't the problem, it's usually a people problem. Join me as I overcome some awful behaviors, problem solving, getting a good foundation, a tune-up on your horse, or even improving your horsemanship. Through my videos, clinics, private and group lessons, and seminars, I hope you can learn something new. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, so now we're going to teach you about doing the face. So you're going to turn the water pressure down, and you're going to bend the hose to where it's barely trickling out, and you're going to try and get him to where he actually drinks the water. So I'm letting it run down his face to his mouth so he can drink it. Okay, now I'm not going to release the water until he shows a sign of relaxing. So you can see he's throwing his head up. That's not good. He's not comfortable with it, so I'm just kind of holding it in that same spot. If I were to go all over his face, it's not going to do anything but make him even more nervous. Okay. There we go. You can see how he's drinking it. That's initially what you're wanting your horse to do. Once they realize it's water, they love it because it feels so good on them. Same thing as if you saw Dakota's video on the river. I didn't have a really good before video. You'll see it later, but she did not want to get near that water. However, once she realized what it was, that it was just water, she was dying to get in. I mean, she was running in there and she did not want to get out. That's kind of how it is like with bathing horses. You know, it feels good. But it's important that you turn that water pressure down, because if you had that water pressure blasting and all of a sudden the horse freaks out, you're going to drop it and it's going to go everywhere. My allergies are kicking my butt. There we go. So he's relaxing a little bit more there. And I always tell people, you never can perfect an exercise. It takes typically about 4 days to perfect an exercise. So today he might be a little bit nervous, and then tomorrow when I go out and work him, he might be a little bit better, and then the next day he'll be a lot better, and the next day he'll be perfect at it. That's kind of how you look at your goals. And it's always consistency. Consistency is your greatest ally, and consistency is your greatest enemy. Meaning that if you could only work your horse so often, let's say twice a week, you want to go the 2 days in a row. So if it's Monday, Tuesday, or if you're off Saturday, Sunday, go to the barn Saturday, Sunday. You always want it to be consistent so that they can learn. That's how they learn the quickest. Day 3, we're actually going to tie the horse up, but still in the open. So if your horse is not really, I recommend actually really getting that Aussie tie ring and using that so your horse can back up if he needs to. I used an emergency release knot that I could use if needed, but I just kind of want to show you, like, you're going to do the same thing, hose him off, and make sure that your horse is comfortable with it and feels good about it. Like I said, for video purposes, I did this all in a day. I don't recommend doing this in a day. I recommend doing your steps because you don't want to overwhelm your horse with it. So day 3 is going to be tying up and getting your horse comfortable with that being tied up. And then day 4, you're actually going to go, if he's comfortable being tied up, you might have to do another day, but he should be good. Take him up into the wash rack and try it there. You never want to just start in the wash rack because your horse is going to feel claustrophobic. You want him to be able to have the open. So that's kind of basically what you're looking at getting done. And really all I'm looking for is a calm horse, and I'll do a video on getting them in the wash rack either today or tomorrow and hopefully get that out so you can kind of see that step. But the real important thing is make sure that when I started out, I didn't have my horse tied up, and I especially didn't have him tied up to where he couldn't get out. I had him in the open, and if you have an arena, that's fine too, or even a round pen. But you saw I was holding my rope, and I have enough room where I can follow him, and I had enough length in the hose that the hose can follow him. You never want to just go all the way out to the end of the hose and only have a couple feet out. You need to have extra hose and all that available so that if your horse does freak out and move around, you can follow him with a water hose. And as you notice, when he did move, I didn't release that water off of him. I waited until he showed one of the 5 signs of relaxing. And those signs could be lowering his head, blinking his eyes, taking a deep breath, licking and chewing, or even cocking his leg. So those are the 5 signs, and if he doesn't show any of those, you wait for about 15 seconds with him standing still for 15 seconds. Don't count it if he's moving around. That'll show if he's relaxing or not. And like I said, I'll go ahead and get another video out soon about washing in the wash rack. It's more claustrophobic and kind of the safety hazards you need to take with that. So thank y'all so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe below. You can click on my logo at the bottom right of the video or check out the links below.